Hi everyone, and welcome to the official Doctor Who podcast.
That's right, I'm Nadia Jae.
And I'm Shabaz, and we're here for all your Whoniverse needs.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so we're going to be talking all things Dot and Bubble. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it on BBC iPlayer in the UK or on Disney Plus where available, then come back to us. That's your official warning.
All right, we've got an empty chair. We need a guest. don't we?
Absolutely.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yay!
Hey!
That was a good one.
Thank you.
That was a good one. All right, so let's introduce our guest. We have got presenter, content creator, and super Whovian.
Yes.
Is what I'm calling him. Guys, make some noise for Tyrell. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're really good, thank
We're
you.
so happy to have you here, honestly.
you.
We are.
Big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Shabaz is.
I
like,
do,
big
yeah.
fan.
I was walking out the corridor like, oh my God, he's in the other room.
I'm just
Right, so this question is hard, but what's your favourite Doctor Who episode?
My favorite episode changes depending on the day.
Yeah.
But usually my answer to that is Midnight from series 4. Loved it. Love a bottle episode. It's my favorite type of episode. David's acting was like top tier in it. Everyone in the episode was just so strong. Yeah, big fan.
Scary.
It's a
spooky episode. We never really see the monster, the midnight
The entity,
Yeah. Love it. I go back to it very regularly. It just sticks out as like one of the best.
All right, so sorry to interrupt the bromance, guys, all right? Thank you. I want to know what you're most looking forward to dissecting in Dot and Bubble.
I'm looking forward to dissecting a lot, as I usually am. But really, like, the main reason I came here today was just to get into how much I disliked a certain character.
It was written very well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We
definitely
will. We've got
that.
lots to cover, all right? I've made a list. Okay, so first of all, it was written by Russell T Davies. So, like I said, fantastic writing, Russell. I know you watch. We've got to talk about Fine Time, Strange Place. We also talk about a new monster, which I wasn't sure I was expecting, but we'll get into that. Let's not start.
Guess who's back?
Oh.
Susan Twist.
Oh, gosh. Again, she's trolling us at this point, by the way. Like, I've just come to the conclusion.
For the record, so is Russell. Because,
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
absolutely.
Right. I know he's here later on or whatever, but I saw the director's commentary and he said, oh, don't worry, Susan was just someone we got to fill out the slot and she's around.
We didn't have actors available. Me, Russell T Davies, couldn't have asked any actor in the world to jump on a plane and they would have gone, no, I'm busy.
We're on to you, Russell. And speaking of Russell, we do have an exclusive sneak peek of the next episode. It's called Rogue. We're very much looking forward to that. We've also got some teasers as well. Let's get into it, guys.
No, you didn't. Did you know who you left out?
Who?
The 3 members of our Who crew.
Oh, not the 3. Guys, make some noise for the Who crew.
There is
There's 4
actually,
of them.
yeah.
All right, it's 4.
We're getting more every week.
We get 1 extra. All right, so let's just go straight to Fine Time, all right, where it all starts. A strange, apparently perfect place. We can delve into that very shortly. Let's remind ourselves, though.
Hey, where's Jimbo? He always wakes up first. Jimbo Fennel, Jim. Come on, Jimbo, wake up.
Have you heard from Mabel and Neve? It's like they've disappeared. I tried to link, but they're gone.
Lindy, babes, you lie there much longer and your blood is going to pool. I said get up!
All right, let's start with the fact that it's called a place called Fine Time. We're in a bubble, quite literally, pastel colours everywhere. What was your first initial thoughts?
My first thought was this is a very visually nice episode. I liked the bright, vibrant colours. It obviously, it gave me vibes of like, this world feels almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
But like, just as someone who just appreciates a good look, like whether it's VFX or cinematography or whatever you want to call it, everything was very visually nice to look at.
We've had a few villains. These villains were different. So obviously we don't have an actual name for them. And when we don't have a name for anything, they're called man traps. What do we, like these slug
hugs.
Slug hug? Oh, slug hugs.
Do you like that?
Slug hug.
I've been thinking about
slug
that.
hug.
Yeah,
I've been
you've got
sitting
it.
on that.
Yeah.
I like slug hug.
What do we think about our like precious little slug hugs? Because,
I tell you what, seeing it so early was mad. I was expecting to go through the episode for a while before we saw what they looked like. And
before the opening credit, we had that slight, before you see the slight, and then all of a sudden, opening credits.
Wait, the slight what?
I can't explain it, but it was
That
like...
should be the name of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like... Yeah.
Well, no, what I thought was interesting about that, especially early on, is when Lindy first sees it, and like Ruby's saying, okay, there's something there, you should probably go. She kind of just turns the bubble back on and pretends like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Which also feels like Russell was just throwing the commentary in there about just blinding yourself to the world. And it's okay if I just jump back into my Instagram world and be fine.
Her Lindy's friends were dying.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, that's fine. Swipe. Let's find another friend who's alive who can tell me I'm cute. Sorry, Lindy, hello.
Yeah.
The slug huggers here. Like, we've got to sort it out.
So what did you make of these monsters? Do you think they are man-made? Because obviously Dot has Dot created them?
So, you know what? Because based on the fact that they're, I guess, the best animal examples, they're slugs, and the thing outside the dome was like a forest. I feel like if they were just like the native creatures that are just minding their business, they were just living on their forest planet, and then maybe humans or this civilization came, made this special rich world, and they're just there like, well, excuse me, I'm hungry, so I need to eat. And the AI is like, okay, well, we need to keep these guys fed, so let's just keep shoving them some people. So maybe like the AI thing, the AIs are just studying the humans, and then when they're done, send them off to the alphabetized slug creatures.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Dot and Bubble literally takes over their lives. Literally. Let's remind ourselves of that.
Oh God, I'm so stupid. Dot and Bubble. Did you do it? Are you out?
I don't know how to walk.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to walk without the arrows.
You don't know how to walk?
Without the arrows.
You don't know how to walk without the arrows.
Oh, that's what I just said. Now shut up. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Do you think that's what social media is going to look like for us in the future?
Well, call me optimistic, but I think we'll still be able to walk, Lindy. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's gonna be bad. No, I feel like it's hard to say because I don't want to just like slag off social media entirely or phones or technology because when like it's embarrassing when I have friends from outside of the country visit London and I'm like, let me show you around, and then I have to use maps to show them where South Bank is. I'm like, I don't remember which line. The phone will know. I don't know. So there is a level of reliance. However, it is definitely getting worse and worse. I don't know if we'll get to that stage where we just lose control of our knowing how to walk, but it is disorienting. Like, I don't know if you used VR, but it is. If you wear it long enough and you take it off, you're like, whoa, how do I?
What would be your Dot and Bubble if you could choose?
Or like my dream Dot person
your
in there.
dream Dot Bubble. Like
my friends group.
Your friends group, what that looks like for you.
It'd have to be more intelligent than their conversations. Oh my God, you look amazing. Your hair looks amazing.
Yeah.
It would definitely be a bit more intellectual than your hair looks. Oh, I need one person that does that.
I was going to say, I would split mine up.
Yeah, someone's probably got to be there to like.
You need one yes man. Yeah,
I'd have it almost like teachers. So like almost like here's a person that teaches me that I feel good and look good or whatever. Like then I'll have the person that it's like I want to learn from somebody. Then I'll have my friend. Then
that's interesting. That's like using how people use social media. Sometimes like TikTok has the answers for everything, but also like I need some tips on dealing with anxiety, and someone's made a video about it and is helping.
And some laughter, by the way. I'm gonna have a comedian in there. I want to laugh sometimes.
I volunteer tribute.
At Shabaz says.
You're in.
And also, like for me, I'd need someone breaking down Easter eggs of every single movie and TV show.
Tyrell?
What a very specific requirement you need. I have a guy for you.
Absolutely, and I need someone to just be my wing woman.
Can I be the wig girl? Because I feel like I change my hair every week, so I'll be the hairdresser girl.
You also want it to be your personal bubble as well, right? Like my bubble, I want to know that my mum's in there in general. She is in my quote unquote real bubble in real life, my partner, my friends, etc. Like you want the people that actually do bring you something.
Shall we give a superficial answer? Okay, let's give a better superficial answer. I would like Kim Kardashian because she makes me feel really good.
We've got to keep the brand happy. I would like David Tennant.
Yes.
I would like all of the doctors.
Can we have a moment about the fact that it's not Shooty? So we need to have this discussion because Shooty had a conversation with Dear Mummy and it's Shooty.
Yeah.
So going forward, Shooty.
Shooty.
All right, let's get that right.
I love that though.
So do I.
I love the fact that he even corrected it. And the fact is that his mum corrected him. I was like, that's not what I named my son. How dare you?
Yeah.
My mum says that all the time because my first name's something else, isn't it? So I use Shabaz and she's like, that's not what my son's called.
What's your full name?
I'll tell you later.
Tell me later. Whisper it in my ears.
As someone who's been called Tyrell my entire life, it's Tyrell to be clear.
Tyrell.
And sometimes I just sub out and I'm like, just call me T because it is just an easier way to have a conversation. But I appreciate that for Shooty. Just kind of put your foot down and say, no, this is my actual name.
Right, listen, we're going to get to the point that we've all been waiting for.
Let's go.
Lindy. Classic, spoilt, rich kid. At any point, just a show of hands around the room and all you at home, did anyone feel sorry for this character? That's a unanimous no.
Absolutely not. Listen, I've been a Whovian a very long time. There's many a character that I've not gelled with. No offense, Russell. Absorbaloff was a weird one. All right. But there's been a few characters I'm like, maybe that one wasn't my favorite. I did wonder, I thought Russell's a very good writer. Why is he giving me such an unlikable protagonist?
So last week, Russell actually said in the teaser that Calico, absolutely brilliant actress. So when the episode started and she opened her mouth, I went, oh, Russell, you've not done a good job of this, love. But he really praised her acting, and I thought, I'm not liking her. And then towards the end, I was like, oh, Russell, you fantastic writer. Like, you
wasn't meant to like her. Lindy didn't like her friends much. She didn't like the doctor. She barely liked Ruby.
Yeah.
She obviously didn't really like Ricky.
She liked Ricky, but then decided not to like Ricky. But
until he didn't make sense to like anymore. Yeah. I mean, she didn't have much interaction with our slug huggers.
She also wasn't sympathetic about Mummy dying. She just was like,
oh, okay.
Oh, good for her.
I don't know that she understands the concept of death, to be fair, because whenever she finds out, she sees that some of her friends get eaten up on the screen, and it's very much like, oh, that was scary, but it's got to keep it moving.
Yeah. However, I'm a bit, controversial. She did use her wits and saved herself, much to the detriment of Ricky September.
Is that bad, though?
Did you expect it?
Well, her to betray him? I thought he'd betray her for a while, to be fair.
I did. I thought he was a bad guy.
He's a bit like, what do you mean you're the only one that knows how to figure out this place and get around people? Where have you been?
What's really interesting is this is clearly what we all feel, right? We all went, yeah, he's too nice to be.
Oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, no. Yeah. You two did.
You were saying. No, you were saying. You were like, when you were getting your makeup done, you were like,
I did not think that there was anything wrong with him being nice at all.
I did.
So when you saw Ricky, what did you think of him?
So first of all, I just thought he was out of the Matrix, so to speak, because he knew how to walk. He started talking about how he stays in his room and reads books and instruments. I was like, okay, cool. He's just not locked in. This is a job for him. That's what I thought.
He directs the people to the slugs eventually.
Well, not even, as in he is an artist and it's a job.
Yeah.
Then he goes home.
Yeah.
Whereas they stay in the bubble.
I thought
that's good. Yeah,
that is good. I thought more so that he was navigating her to her death. So when they were like, oh, come here, we're going to go here, because the reason why they selected, before we realised that the alphabetical order thing, I thought there was a reason why certain people weren't getting slugged. I love that term, it's just slugged now, isn't it? Slug hugged. And they were taking her downstairs, because when he was putting all these codes in, I'm like, something's about to happen. He's about to turn around and be like, actually, I'm the bad guy, like Ruby.
You know, it was as well. It was Murray Gold's, like the composer, his score throughout. It was very heroic, because they were like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna get you out of here. And we're gonna find a way through." At some points, I thought, maybe it's just like the Doctor in disguise. They're giving him very much a hero feel to a point where it was annoying.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, either he's dying or he's the bad guy. Something's wrong here.
Okay, Susan Twist is back.
She's back,
right? Lindy's mum this time. Let's remind ourselves of that.
Mummy paid for it all.
We miss you so much, darling. But I'd pay for the whole moon to make you happy. Just look up at the sky and wave to us on the home world. Happy fine time, Lindy Lou. And don't forget, you're only a bubble away.
Who is that?
I told you, it's Mummy.
Oh, hold on, I've seen her before.
Yeah, she's the face of the ambulance in Postarion 3.
No, I've seen her somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right, so Susan Twist, right, this time round, the Doctor and Ruby have both acknowledged her. So previously, there's been a background thing, a cup of tea, bit of a dancing. She's been in the ambulance, 73 yards with the hiker. Ruby acknowledged her, the Doctor hadn't. But one thing that was really interesting, the Doctor said, she's a villain god. Ruby said, no, I've seen her somewhere else.
I'm telling you.
But Ruby doesn't remember.
Yeah.
It's not in order, guys.
What do you mean?
I don't think that the episodes are in order, because...
Okay. Land.
I'm gonna. The plane is really...
Yeah, hovering.
So here's what I think it is. So, of course, the Doctor's going to remember everything, right? I think that we are looking at things in a different order, which is why the Doctor remembers, but Ruby's like, no, what are you on about? No, it's not there. I saw her here. I also know that Ruby has met Susan Twist at different times when the Doctor has, because Ruby's eyes were closed most of the period of Boom.
Yeah.
And in 73 Yards, where was the Doctor?
What's your theory about Susan?
Susan, I had so many conflicting theories because each episode sometimes makes me go, oh, maybe I'm wrong about this. I initially, after The Devil's Cord, I thought, okay, maybe she's like a regenerated version of the Doctor's granddaughter because he referenced a child. Well, the character's called Susan. And in this case, the actor's called Susan. I thought, okay, this is a bit of a reach. Then I figured it might be a similar thing to what happened to Clara, who was also like just popped into different points in the Doctor's timeline. Yes. She was in Asylum of the Daleks in the Christmas episode and all that. And maybe she's just unnaturally spread across his timeline, and even she doesn't know why she's there. Yeah. But then I thought, no, because this time he recognizes her again. I figured, I don't know. Right now, the theory I'm landing on for these last 5 episodes is that she is some sort of time traveler. Either she's some sort of like a Time Lord related character. She could still be Susan Foreman, but I feel like if it was Susan, she would just say, hey, Grandpa, like, what's up? You know?
You look a bit different, love, but you know, I'm still your granddaughter.
Yeah. Or she seems to be kind of dancing around the timeline. The Toymaker and Maestro are both able to do that. TARDIS-less, just pop up in any time they wanted to. So I'm wondering if she's just another member of the Pantheon. Possibly the Trickster? Is my first thought.
I don't know if maybe this is my theory, she is Ruby's mom, the one woman that left at the church, but that's her human form. So Susan Twist, as in the visual we're seeing, is the human form she's chosen to represent in various different versions of Ruby's timeline. But really, it's a big baddie that is taking form as Susan Twist's face.
Like a shapeshifter.
The reason why I say that is because she doesn't follow the Doctor, she follows Ruby. In the church. The episodes where you see her, she was in the bar as a dancer, right? Where Ruby was in the bar performing. She has been when obviously now we're starting to see her in 73 Yards. The Doctor wasn't there. She bumped into her. Yes, in Devil's Cord, the Doctor and her were together, so it just so happens that she was there. So I think she's following Ruby in my
Do you think Ruby's manifesting her?
Oh, as in like...
So, for example, if she is her parent, right? Imagine she is her mum. And you know sometimes in certain shows where...
Land.
We're getting all excited.
Go on.
In certain shows where it's like the main character might get some dust sprinkled on them going back into time or whatever, and they accidentally bring who they're thinking about, and it manifests in different ways every single episode. Oh my God, guys, we're getting close.
Their face is like what she keeps seeing.
Yeah.
Because remember, she can manifest the snow, can't she? She can bring out the snow. So what if she is pulling that memory? Because she, as a baby, she will have seen her mother's face. Yes, she might not remember it. She will have seen her mother's face. So she's actually, her mother's face is appearing because the character, we're just seeing Susan Twist's face on all these characters. They are still individual human beings.
Almost to help her, almost like a guardian angel type. Yeah. She's never like, it's never a bad energy from Susan Twist, not, you know, the actress. When she's playing all these characters, she's always kind of there to help, essentially.
She's always just like she helps her.
She saves Ruby's life in Boom.
Exactly.
And she helped her in 73 Yards.
I've just now thought as you were saying it, the only wrench in this theory is that she appeared in Wild Blue Yonder before the Doctor's even regenerated, much less met Ruby. She was kind of just hanging out with Isaac Newton.
I don't know if that was our introduction to her. But then they're not there.
Like nothing at that point. Nothing's happened. The Doctor's not done the whole salt at the end of the universe thing. It's nothing to do with our current timeline has happened yet.
So you might be onto something about this being the human form.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, you know this face, let's just be this.
I think she's using that face and she's dipping into story. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I'm just clutching straws.
Do you reckon she, at the end of The Giggle, there's like a random woman's hand that picks up the tooth that holds the master. Do you reckon she's like that?
See, I thought that might have been Maestro. But then because I thought that was Jinx Monsoon's, you know what I mean? Like, I think that might have been it. But you might be onto something. In Devil's Cord, the sound when Ruby's floating is the sound for the Trickster. So people online have put this together, and I saw it and I heard it. Yeah. Because when Ruby floated, I was a Sarah Jane Adventures fan, but not to the point where I watched it religiously, but I did used to watch it. And when that sound played, I was like, where have I heard that? I mean, for me, Bollywood copies a lot, so I thought maybe I heard it in Bollywood, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Honestly, the first thing I heard the noise, and I thought, maybe that's a Bollywood song. I've heard that It's not that. It was, I thought, where have I heard this sound before? And then when I went onto, the World Wide Web and I was searching and I saw somebody put the
theme tune.
The Trickster's sound, the score, they are the same sounds. And I'll show you after this. So I do think that maybe that, when you mentioned the Trickster,
my brain's blown, boys.
There's a lot of, there's things that are connecting to something, you just can't quite see the big picture yet.
No, I can't.
The last thing I will say on this, speaking of like just little things people have been catching, because I know someone's probably already like drafted this up in the comments. There is this is a very specific connection between one trailer, which I'm sure is not going to happen until like the final episode, and the giggle. In the giggle, when they're looking for the sound, the giggle sound, the arpeggio sound, Mel says, "Oh yeah, we're using the triad network to find something," which I thought maybe was a throwaway line. But also in the trailer of the show, I'm pretty sure it's the unit episode, that you can see on one of the screens, they're using the triad. The triad comes up again, but it's like S.triad. And some very clever people have realized that as an anagram for TARDIS.
Oh.
So I thought, I don't know what that means, but it comes back into the whole anagram thing that Russell loves.
Sorry, my eyes. I'm like, we could be here for hours doing this.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I can't.
When we get to the last episode, we're going to have to group chat this out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to have to group chat this out every episode.
I think we're going to need to.
We're going to have to. Do you know what I said about the Doctor? And I think we talked about this, didn't we? I said, this Doctor, Nshuti's Doctor feels very different.
I really like that about Nshuti's performance of the Doctor. What I think the common thread between the last 14 Doctors have been is that they really bottle up their emotions.
Yes.
They hold everything in. And we've literally seen throughout the show, more and more keeps happening to the Doctor. Losing all so many people over time, over thousands of years, his closest friends and family, watching them either go away or die or grow old, etc. Also, they themselves have died multiple times, 14 times. That takes a toll, if you were to assume, on a person, constantly changing, your brain constantly shifting around into different personalities. But regardless, the Doctor, to keep the Doctor's core principles, all of that stuff just gets bottled in. The Doctor holds in. The Doctor rarely tells the companion about every last story. Peter Capaldi's Doctor was a very good example of that in Twice Upon a Time, telling Bill. And the last Doctor, I've been through all this, but if I stop, I got to keep moving. I can't stop and deal with this because the next thing is happening. I need to keep it moving. And then I know the last thing 15 said to 14, which is so weird to call them by numbers, was you need to get help. You need to actually process your emotions and feel these things. I'm the version of you that is accepting. You like the reason 14 even went back to the face of David Tennant was because the regeneration's reached their limit. It's like, listen, I can't. You need to go back and deal with this.
Do something. Go sort it out. Go see therapist.
There's trauma here. We got to get. We've got to sort this out.
But I feel like, and that's why I think that's why I love the show so much, because it doesn't matter where it goes, in what capacity, the Doctor always has one element of relatability, regardless of their personality change, their face changes, the actor changes. With Nshuti's Doctor, I do get that bottled up sort of and that now ready to burst. And now, and I will, if I have a heated argument, if I get really that moment, and I think we're going to talk about it, at the end, that would be me. I'd be screaming and crying because I'm like, why are you not listening to me?
So for those that didn't quite catch it though, because, we love Nshuti's Doctor, but in this episode, he wasn't loved.
We couldn't travel with you.
What? Why not?
Because you, sir, are not one of us. I mean, so you were kind, although it was your duty to save me, obviously. I mean, screen-to-screen contact is just about acceptable, but in person, that's impossible.
Like, you have a magic box? Seriously?
Bigger on the inside.
Excuse me, sir. That's voodoo. And it doesn't matter where we end up living.
Yeah, that point where Ruby was very
watching
aware.
it back has really give me goosebumps.
It's kind of what it's like dealing with racism in this country. It's very much like just that kind of
microaggression.
Just like, that's voodoo in that box. It's like, wait, what? Oh,
it
gosh.
wasn't.
And it was hidden under that niceness. Oh, you were nice, but I mean, you was doing your job.
Well, you were supposed to. That's what you said, right?
It was your privilege or something like it was your you're meant to be saving me.
I thought it was such a clever and fantastic way of writing in a theme that is in Nshuti's story outside of being the doctor and becoming the doctor.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know your thoughts as, you know, both brown men watching that and what that kind of, you know, felt like.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first watched the episode, I just thought, this is a future and I don't see any brother. Like, I don't see anyone that looks like me or sister. Like, literally, there was no one. They were all white. I thought, what's going on here? And I thought, I was really shocked by it because I thought, this is Doctor Who is a progressive show. And I was like, it's not written with... And I left it. I saw it for an instant, dropped it. And at the end, it really sucker punched me. I am not gonna lie to you. Like, I think probably one of the most emotional episodes because of how I think I felt in that moment.
Yeah.
He was genuinely trying to help them and they didn't want anything to do with him because he didn't look like them.
Yeah.
Like Nadia said, seeing it being done in such a subtle way, because they didn't need to say anything to him. It was a subtle look and that one line, because she could have been referring to like, just like you lot, as in like, you're not part of us, as in we live in this bubble, we dot on bubble, we're rich people. She could have been talking to that. But it was that undertone, that slight undertone, the look, and also Ruby's face.
Yeah.
Ruby's look of
Ruby's
so
response.
pure, like, and I think that realization that, oh my God, like...
Well, also, I don't know if you noticed, but Ruby was the one that asked the question and said, look, the doctor can help you.
Yeah.
And then straight away, Lindy didn't even respond to Ruby. She's just gone straight to the doctor and said, absolutely not. And that was when I realized, and I saw Ruby turn around and seeing the doctor get so progressively upset.
Yeah.
And I was mind blown.
It's because it's the first time he's been black. He's been black. What was your own experience of... Like,
Oh, gosh. This was that, and the ending very much hit because I don't think I the entire time I got there was like a racist undertone. There was something happening here, but I really did think maybe it's something I'm reading into. And then when sort of I guess the penny dropped, what I did notice actually was Ruby, I think, clocked onto the racism before the doctor did.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that because it wasn't disregarding the fact that the doctor has been 14 white people up until this point.
Yes.
The doctor has not actually, well, I mean, prior to the Timeless Child. That's
this one, isn't it?
But at this point, through the doctor's memory anyway, has not experienced racism like that. The doctor's seen it with, say, like Rosa Parks and seen it maybe with his companions
and stuff,
but experiencing it firsthand and really just being like, I'm the doctor, I'm here to save people. Come on, this is day like 25 for me. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. And they're going, yeah, no, well, hold on. What do you mean? You look like that. No, thank you. I really like how honest that moment was. It wasn't a case of, the doctor's black, so the doctor's going to give a big speech about racism and say why you shouldn't be racist and teach you a lesson. The doctor was like, whoa, wait, what? Like, it was almost like the doctor's thousands of years worth of white privilege just got stopped, got halted in that moment. And it was like, I am walking a mile in someone else's shoes right now.
Guys, here is a reminder. We have an exclusive sneak peek of the next Doctor Who episode. It's called Rogue. It's going as the Bridgerton episode. We are very much looking forward to it. We also have that sneak peek from Russell T Davies himself. So all of that's to come. He's got those tantalising breadcrumbs, which we love. We're crying for it. So I'm very much looking forward to that. All of that is to come still. But first, it's Shabaz's favourite. It's Dr. Dot. All right, so Tyrell, Dr. Dot is where we put the doctor to the dots for the entire Whoniverse, and this is Shabaz's favourite. Like, I let him have his moment here.
Okay.
Crown, ready.
Right, so it's that, after that beautiful introduction, I don't have a lot of Easter eggs. I mean, I do have there's not a lot of connections because we focus so much on Lindy and the civilization and sort of like Fine Time. There's not a lot of it connecting really to the wider Whoniverse. But there are a couple of like similar themes running. For example, the first one being like, this is one of the Companion Light and Dr. Light episodes. We had Love and Monsters in 2006. And also we had Blink in 2007. So one thing that's really interesting is what I've noticed about Boom and this episode is that when Lindy's mum passes away and she's gone up to the sky, Lindy doesn't seem heartbroken, similar to Splice. There isn't that element of, it's like in the future, is death just a given or what is it? Does anyone have any like?
I feel like it is a given now. It's just that maybe the way they process it is different because they regenerate differently. Like everything just gets, like, I feel like with us, in the nicest way possible, make a song and a dance about death. It's obviously not like that. In Boom, it was a cylinder. It was, do you know what I mean? And you don't really get the space to be emotional because...
Or maybe because death here is final. Whereas in the future, there is some sort of element or AI, like Splice, Splice still having her dad. Yeah, okay, he's a cylindrical tube walking her down the aisle, but he still is an AI version. So she's kind of like, well, he's still around.
Well, I think there's an interest. I didn't think about this, but it's interesting you bring up Splice because I think Splice and Lindy have two different perspectives on, because both of them, I guess, are set in the future.
Yeah.
They, I both presumably human. So they're kind of cut from the same coin, except Splice isn't privileged the same way that Lindy is. And Splice's understanding, I mean, they're part of the Anglican Marines. I guess this is some sort of like future Christianity type deal. And Splice, she says that her mother was gathered, and at the end she says, oh, Daddy's not, he's not gone. He's dead, but he's not gone, which I think again leads into the idea of, yes, she had the AI thing, but I think that would lean into the faith, the Christianity thing of like, oh yeah, he's still with me. It's that ideal that kind of, spreads across like various religions. Lindy seems to have an understanding that, when you die, you go to the sky. But it was almost like a much more superficial understanding. Splice almost felt like she was a kid, but her dad taught her like, okay, this is what death is. This is our perspective on it. So she had, like, Splice was emotional, yes, but there was a level of maturity and understanding about the concept of death. And Lindy was more like, oh yeah, she's in the sky. I think there was an ignorance.
Because also Lindy, you got to remember, she was hugging people for the first time.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have that.
She doesn't have that empathy.
Empathy bone was not there. It was very much like, we do this now. Splice can still actually physically see her dad.
Yeah, or
coming up and
her dad's in the war as well, so she probably had to be taught like, okay, so some people die. It's something that she needed. Well, the war. She needed to understand that the concept of death is very real. The threat of death is very real. You need to be aware of it.
A parent.
Exactly. So I think Splice just was a bit more emotionally mature, whereas Lindy had the same perspective, but she was just so ignorant that it was like, yeah, she's gone, but it's what it is.
So there's been a lot of episodes quite similar to this one. I guess it's not really an Easter egg, more of a connection. So we've had Gridlock, we had New Earth, and we had The Long Game. We do revisit that sort of dystopian future. My question is, because I really want to know, do you think we're coming back to Fine Time, not as it is, but maybe a different version, maybe the forest, maybe underground? Are we coming back to Fine Time? What do we think?
I genuinely believe Fine Time is done. I'm more intrigued about Wales, if I'm honest with you. I'm not finished there. I'm not finished with every 3 yards. I will pick this bone with Russell T Davies when I see him. But there was a finality with the end of this episode. It felt like it was like their place had gone awry and that's it. And maybe, the woods. There could be that. I just think Fine Time itself just felt like just a place that was created for these lovely little brats. All right, guys, fantastic theories. And we could Dr. Dot all day long with you two Whovians, all right? Thank you, Shabaz. We'll do this again next episode. All right, so the Whovians are out there in the comments, in my comments, in yours. So I thought it'd be really nice if we actually have a look at some of the theories that we've seen online, all right? Are we ready?
Does anyone remember when Russell T Davies revealed that he originally planned for a twist in season 1 where it was revealed Rose was some sort of creation by the Doctor in an attempt to create the perfect companion? Yes. What if Russell T Davies is rejuvenating that plotline? Could this explain why she's so powerful?
I would agree, other than the fact that the Doctor's so scared of her. It's almost like the Doctor's like us and doesn't know.
Is he scared of her though?
Well, in the beginning, when he did that scan, it's like everything she embodies is not of a regular companion. Like the fact that she can make it snow, he's shocked by that. The fact that she doesn't listen, he's shocked by that. Like it's not like, we made our bubbles earlier and we were like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like getting the Doctor swiping in our bubble and we're like, who the hell are you? I feel like he's always constantly surprised by Ruby's reactions and behaviour. So I don't know.
Because I feel like the Doctor... Whenever you meet a new person, like bear in mind they've met, haven't they? Like whenever you meet a new person, you don't automatically would know their mannerisms. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think When you first met me, you probably thought, oh, lovely. Now you're probably like, my God.
No, actually.
Jesus, that's crazy.
No,
No, but you know what I mean? Like, when you first meet somebody, you have your own perceptions. I don't know if that's just the doctor learning. I don't know if that's just... So you might be right. I mean, you might not be wrong, but I think that might just be the doctor learning her mannerisms and going, what's wrong with... Like, that's not what normally happens with companions.
What do you think, Tyrell?
I don't know, because you could say that's not what normally happens with companions, but it happens with companions almost all the time. They do... There was Rose, and I think that's her dynamic with, Ninth Doctor was very much, I'm going this way, you've got to do what I'm saying. She's kind of, there was an infatuation, so of course she was going to be a bit more, I guess, she develops more of a, I'm doing what I want energy towards the end.
Yeah.
But there was like a, you lead, I'll follow. But most companions after that have been a bit like...
Amelia, Donna. Donna was the same. Donna really did what she wanted to.
Amy and Donna in particular, and Clara.
And Clara as well.
They all had a case of like, I'm really important, and that's why the doctor's question mark.
Very Gen Z.
The doctor was always confused about the crack with Amy, why that was following her, why Clara kept on popping up across the timeline, why Donna and Wilf keep on finding them. He's always had a bit of like, why are my companions always so important? What's going on here?
There must be a reason.
So,
I mean,
if he's used to that, right? I don't think that would scare him necessarily. I think there is a genuine... I think it's to do with the time thing. Like when he went back there, he cried when he saw the person who dropped her off. Like he was genuinely like taken aback. So I think there is something to do with the fact that this thing is bending time, this thing is affecting space, that genuinely has him, a Time Lord, concerned.
All right, last theory on Ruby. She's a fairy tale. Her life is a story. The musical numbers, the fairy tale villain. She screams storybook protagonist. That's what these guys are saying. I think this is a good one. Kind of ties into what you were saying, basically. Also, this series isn't a stranger to fairy tale stories. We saw that in Space Babies anyway, didn't we?
with the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Goblins have come in now as well, which was quite random.
Yes, very random.
Yeah,
Maestro being like it's a villain.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
That leans into your idea of we're not in timeline order.
I'm telling you,
because we could pick up a book at any point,
and just open it
and open
page.
it at any chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting all poetic.
See, this is what I mean. I got a 2-hour train. I'm not going to be able to do anything but read theories. I can't.
I mean, even like the future episodes seem to feel quite story-ish as well. The Regency episode seems like an old fairy tale,
Bridgerton, and
prince and princess kind of thing.
Oh.
Ooh, there is something in there.
These theories, and you know what? I'm just going to say, the Who crew, the Cruvians, picked these top out for us, right?
On purpose.
Just saying.
We're on to you, Who crew.
Don't you gaslight us. So listen, we love your theories. If you've got one, make sure you hashtag Doctor Who and we'll see it.
Well, we've been talking about Russell. Let's just get into these tantalising breadcrumbs. I am ready. Russell has got some things he wants us to think about and remember for the next episode. It's on its way. Let's do it.
Okay. So next week, Rogue. What a title. Rogue, an episode written by Kate Herron and Bryony Redman, who came into this with a huge plot, and they said, we want the Doctor to make this plot work to be in the middle of a party. And we spent a long time discussing what party that should be. We were talking about outer space cosmic parties, and I've spent a long time thinking about the 1920s for some strange reason, or the 1940s. We kind of had brass bands on the go and swing music and stuff like that, and it wasn't quite working until someone, either Kate or Bryony, said, then again, it could always be Bridgerton. They're always having balls and waltzes and it's magnificent. And that's what we've done. It's what everyone calls the Bridgerton episode, as in the Doctor and Ruby actually say, oh, it's like we're in Bridgerton. And that's how it feels. It's got the romance. It's got the costumes. We've literally got the costumes. We've got the locations. It properly is the Bridgerton episode. But with the one thing the Bridgerton is lacking, which is murderous aliens. Frankly, wouldn't it be a better show if it had that? I think Shonda is probably listening. She's probably about to do that. So come along and enjoy this episode, and you might just sit and wonder, keep counting those aliens, work out how many of them there are ready for the ending.
It's going to be quite frightening, actually. Bridgerton with aliens.
So obviously, Russell kept saying, Rogue. Rogue.
Yeah, so Rogue, I mean, from what we understand, Rogue is the name of a character. I think presumably this is going to be Jonathan Groff's character, because he's the Bridgerton. Yeah. We've only seen him in this weird Regency outfit. He also said there's romance in the episode. I don't know if Rogue is part of the romance or if it's one of the other characters.
Listen, guys, because we could speculate all day long. We've heard what Russell had to say. Why don't we just watch an exclusive sneak peek of the episode Rogue. Let's do it.
Lord Galpin, remind me, to which dishonouring are you referring? The one in the kitchen? In your study? In the stables?
You will marry her, sir!
I will do no such thing. Now, I'm awfully bored of your shouting. If you wish to challenge me to a duel, then please, sir, do. Then I can shoot you dead.
It's an...
Ooh.
What happened there?
It's an alien. What did I say?
It wasn't it?
What did I say? We have to count them because we don't know how many of them are going to make it into the next episode.
I thought you were going to say, it's an alien. I was like, yeah, no.
It's alien.
We're not watching Bridgerton. It's aliens. We're an alien. I thought literally when you went, it's an alien.
So we need to count how many neck snaps there are because they obviously snap. Like every alien has something in it. Like I feel like the scenes and the farting and we know now what to look out for. Oh my God.
So what you're saying with that is that Russell said count the aliens. So we really need to keep an eye on like which one cracks their neck and which one they actually get rid of versus how many people. I haven't got the time for that, love. It's Susan Twist going to appear in this episode.
Susan Twist, the bird alien.
What is she going to be doing? She's going to be in the background doing something, serving tea, serving champagne or something.
Yeah, I think she'll be serving.
I think she's going to be given bigger, more lines. I think they're paying her a bit more every episode because first she started off with just like 1-2 lines. Now she's actually mummy.
Susan, we're really backing it for you, by the way.
You're getting a full episode.
Up being some joke, Russell. I swear.
Guys, that has been brilliant, hasn't it? Can we please make some noise for our guest, presenter and content creator and Whovian and fantastic friend of ours now.
You've been amazing.
You've been amazing. Thank you, Tyrell.
Thank you.
And if you're wondering where you've seen his face before, Tyrell, let us know where we can find you.
So you can find me currently hosting the New to Who miniseries on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel and everywhere else at Theories by T across all the socials.
Amazing. And remember, you can catch more behind the scenes goodness on our Doctor Who social channels.
That's right, guys. Remember, watch Rogue. Come right back here. Me, Shabaz, and our 3 brain cells will be here chopping it up. We'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.